Alrighty, y'all, we have here today my newest journal that I will be listing for sale. And the last time that I filmed a journal flip through for sale, I took an hour talking through all the details, and then I felt like I had to film a separate one that was just really quickly going through it with no talking. So I'm going to try not to talk so much on this one, but we'll see what I can do. So it's just covered, it's hardcover, it's covered in this beautiful green floral cotton that is actually the same cotton that I used on the cover of my first junk journal, and I really love it. And then it's pretty big with 5 signatures. I know it's 6 1/4 by 9 1/4 is the book board on the front and back cover. And then I want to say, oh, we could just measure it, huh? So we're looking at it's like 3 1/4. It was cut to 3 1/4 inches is what it looks like. And then when you add the fabric and the front and back cover, it comes out to just a little over 3 1/4. And then all of the journals that I make have the same style closure because I really love it. It's just got this little hitch post on the front, and then there's an eyelet on the back cover with this ribbon tied through it. And then I tied it in a bow so that you can just hook the loop over. And then as the journal grows and gets chunkier, you can untie the bow and retie it looser so you have more room. So there's always room to grow with the closure, but you don't have to untie it and tie it every time you open and close it. And then it is lined, let me just check my framing, with this beautiful William Morris wrapping paper. And I think it just goes so well together. I was like, sometimes you're precious about your own supplies, about your absolute favorite things. And I was like, okay, I can use this William Morris paper, even though I'm going to be almost using it up. It's not my favorite William Morris paper. And then I put it in here with the green one, and I was like, maybe it is one of my favorites. It's really beautiful together. Maybe I need to keep this. But no, I just made like 4 journals for myself. I'm not keeping this one. Okay, so we start out with a tracing paper page, which I love. Setting up pages so that you can like see what's coming, and there's layers that you can appreciate as you come in. So we've got tracing paper, and then we've got this probably walnut dyed messages from the fairies during Virtue coloring page, and we've got some walnut dyed pink scrapbook paper. We've got some vellum. Got this beautiful magazine page with the sky, and it says it starts with a dream. I've just clipped this on here. And I thought she looked like in some sort of fae court fairy queen or something. And I've got butterflies stamped on this cotton rag. And these are definitely stamped with stays on, so that will not, that is permanent. It will not bleed with water. And then I've got this clipped on here. On this calendar page from an old Fairy Houses calendar. And then on here we've got this just clipped on. This sticker came out of here, I think. And then we've got a couple things tucked into this little junk mail envelope that I just think is really fun. I think there's fold outs in the middle of a lot of these signatures because I was really into that at the time that I put these signatures together. The signatures have been put together for like almost a year, and then I just, I think there were only 3 signatures and they were really big. So I went through and I kind of took some pages out of each signature and then pulled some more pages from my stash to add in to make it a bigger journal overall. So actually, how many pages is each one? I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we've got 7 folios per signature and 5 signatures. So I think that takes us to about 140 something front and back pages. Let me do the math on that really quick. I just did the math because it was the same in the last journal I just did. 5 signatures times 7 is 35 times 4, 120, 140. Yeah, 140 pages, if my math is good. Okay, and then we've got that cotton rag, the other half of that magazine page, but this one I just glued this little guy on. Beautiful piece of scrapbook paper. And then the back of this one is reinforced with this Trader Joe's greeting card that folds out and says, "You are magical." This is one of my favorite cards, and I have hoarded these for myself, and I think I have one at the beginning of my overflow journal that I'm using right now. And if I'm not wrong, I think I have one in my first ever junk journal as well, because I just love it so much. I was like, oh, I'll buy these greeting cards to send to other people. Lies. But this one goes out into the world to whoever gets this journal. Vellum. Here's the other half of that pink scrapbook paper, but I put a scrapbook paper pocket in it with this little tuck in. And there's the other half of the coloring page and the tracing paper, and that's the first signature. We've got another Trader Joe's greeting card here, another one of my favorites. It does say birthday wishes, so if that doesn't feel appropriate to you, whatever, cover over it. What's important is there's a fabulous magical unicorn with a fabulous magical banner, and it's fabulous. What more do you want? This is a text page from the Book of Fine Prints. It's a very old book and it has really beautiful paper. It was big pages, so I had to trim it down, but I just think it's really beautiful, and I really like the rough edges, actually. It really fought hard with my my cutting tool thing, but I really actually like the kind of distressed way that the cuts ended up coming out. And we've got this piece of stationery and this hand dyed, this is botanical dyed. I don't remember what these flower petals are. These look like the middle of some sort of flower that are speckled all over here, and tea dyed. A page from a sketchbook. An avocado dyed page from the Messages from the Fairies During Virtue Coloring book. I love these pages in this signature where the pink and the white ones come together. It makes me really happy with the borders and the pink and white. I just really love this. And I feel like this is going to be, there's 2 spreads like this in this signature, and I feel like these are going to be really fun pages to work on. I kind of want to do something like this in one of my own journals in the future. And then there's the centerfold. Got a unicorn with some bears, or with a bear and a wolf. And here's the other one like that. And the other half of the fairy, and this fairy has a little, I think it's a little doe, or maybe it's a little rabbit. I think it's a little rabbit. It's a little rabbit. I thought a doe because the paws are black and so it looks like hooves, but no, it's a rabbit. Now I'm kind of sad I'm getting rid of it. I fucking love rabbits. Okay. That's me loving everything that I make so much that I don't want to part with it, but I part with it anyway because I love you too and I want you to have nice things. Okay. We've already talked about all those papers, and this is the back of the Trader Joe's greeting card. You are a mythical, wondrous creature. May this next year be magical. And I feel like that is appropriate regardless of when your birthday is and how close your birthday is to when you get this. But also, it is occurring to me that this journal, because of this, would make a fabulous birthday gift for somebody. So if you know somebody who's into fairies and unicorns and their birthday is coming up and they would appreciate a beautiful magical grimoire or junk journal of this variety, this is your sign to get it for them. And then we've got this piece of vellum that I've stamped up. I just love the unicorns on the back of this too. With this clipped on here. And we've got another one of these fairy coloring pages, but this one is just bordered with some green ink. And then we've got a magazine page here that I've kind of dolled up to make the girls into fairies. And I feel like the colors also just go really nicely with this avocado dyed staff paper. And that folds out. We've got more greenery and flowers on this side to work on. This is from a book of like friendship quotes and things, but it's really, really nice paper. So again, another sign to buy this for your friend for their birthday. The language of friendship is not words, but meanings. It is an intelligence above language. Henry David Thoreau. And then we've got the other books in the series. This is the Messages from the Fairies coloring book title page. This coloring book is like super cardstocky, nice paper, by the way. And I have watercolored on it in my own journal. And I mean, it's not like watercolor paper, but it does take watercolor pretty dang well. So just putting that out there. And then this side, I guess, was probably pretty boring. So I put this beautiful scrapbook paper over it. And then I thought this was really fun. I sewed this leaf, these silk leaves, into the signature. So they're sewed in here in front of this, or behind this centerfold, and they kind of tuck up and poke out when you have the journal closed. And I just think it adds an element of magic and nature and fae-ness to this. This looks like it's tea dyed, and I just love the pages that like fold up and fold in and fold away. Like it just feels like extra magical getting to open something like this in the middle of the journal. And this fairy just feels like a guardian protector, like it's like protecting you and protecting your journal, and like, I don't know, this one feels extra magical to me, so you're welcome. And then this is kind of a cool little experimental envelope I did so it's a tracing paper pocket. And then this, I've just tucked this 7 of Pentacles from one of Paulina Cassidy's decks. I can't keep all her different decks straight because her art is so similar across all of them, but they're all beautiful. And this is the 7 of Pentacles from one of them. So that's in there. But then in this front part, I've tucked in these translucent fairy stickers. So I'm not going to take them out right now. But these are just pet stickers of some of the Cicely Mary Barker fairies. And I think it's really fun to have them tucked in there, and then it's like they're trapped in that layer, but also if you wanted to, you could take them out, stick them somewhere else, put other things in that pocket, do whatever you want. And then we've got some sheet music here on this beautifully stamped cardstock, honestly. I really like what I did here. And this is one of my favorite washi tapes, so I'm sharing it with you. And then, yes, this is backed with another Trader Joe's greeting card that says, if we could see the miracle of a single flower clearly, our whole life would change. And then it's just got the names of all of these different flowers on it. And it's blank inside. Got more of the friendship quotes book. The only way to have a friend is to be one. A friend may well be reckoned the masterpiece of nature. A friend is a person with whom I may be sincere. Before him, I may think aloud. These are great friendship quotes. More of that avocado dyed staff paper. I really like how this one came out with this like these darker lines at the bottom. Here's the other half of that magazine page, and the other half of the coloring page, and the rest of the vellum. And that brings us to the 4th signature. We're over halfway done now. So we've got this beautiful handmade specialty paper in pink that I have just kind of edged with some, I'm thinking this is walnut ink. I think I was making these signatures at the time when I had just got my walnut ink, and I was pretty obsessed with it. So it's found its way into a lot of this book. Some lovely cotton rag, some lovely stationery paper, another tea dyed piece of paper. This is one of the pages from the Book of Fine Prints, and this one just had a lot of like vintage outfits that felt like the sorts of people who would get lost in fairyland, and then I don't know, and some of these felt like fairy court to me, so there we go. And then we've got this flower coloring page, another one of these fairy coloring pages. Love her, avocado dyed. Other side of the flower coloring page, Book of Fine Prints, tea dyed, stationery, cotton rag, specialty. And this one has such fun texture. I really love. I don't know what you call these. I'm just calling it specialty paper, but I really like the texture of this, and I think it's really fun to like collage onto, and I love how you can kind of like see what's behind it. I love like when you get this effect of like the layers where you can see this and this and this and this and this and all this. I love that sort of thing. I love arranging pages like that. So I hope you appreciate it too. This is from a coloring book of like cards and envelopes. And I used to just have like a bunch of coloring books on the bookshelf in the living room at my house, and people would come over and we would just get out the coloring books and color together. So this was colored by a friend who, I hesitate to even call her a friend, but she was a really cool gal. Came over once, beautifully colored this page, never came over again. And it even says on the back, colored for you by Alejandra. So you can cover that up if you want, but that is the signature of the artist who colored this. And I just thought that it was so cute, but it really just went so well. The colors of that she chose went, and it's not even done being colored. You could color the, I mean, it looks beautiful. You could call it done, or you could do more coloring and add to it. But I just think the colors that she chose work so well with this garden floral magazine page. And so I had to put them together. Had to do it. And then I looks like I put some walnut ink around the edges of that. Stuck this guy on here. And I just think this is such a beautiful garden image. I love, like, my favorite thing to take out of magazines is like the full page landscapes and greenery and garden shots. Like even if there's like a model in the middle of it, if there's a beautiful landscape all around it, I'll take it. We can either cover the model's head with something and turn her into a flower, or we can cover the whole model with writing space or whatever. I just want the greenery, the landscapes, the nature. I just think it's so beautiful. So you're getting this one, and I just think those pair together so well. I really hope this video isn't an hour long. We've got, okay, it looks like, let me tuck something in here and make that a little more fun for you. Let's do the 7 of Cups from this Paulina Tarot as well. We'll tuck her in there. Is she too, oh, she might be, we're gonna do it anyway. Hopefully she won't get lost. No, let's find a bigger piece of paper. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Not me doing this all wrong. That's okay. We'll fold it there, and then we'll tear it on the original fold line. And then we don't want it to stick out too high out of the top. So we're gonna fold it down that much, and then we'll tuck it in this way. Okay, so now you can see that this is a pocket made out of the music paper. And then we'll tuck this guy in this pocket. So this is a tracing paper envelope, and I love putting little tracing paper envelopes and pockets on top of other papers. So now you can see like the whole sheet music thing through there. We'll just tuck that 7 of Cups in there, which the 7 of Cups is all about like dreams and illusions, but it's also about having many choices and being in that place where like you have so many different choices and you don't know what to choose. But it feels very fairy appropriate. All of Paulina's cards feel very fairy appropriate, but the 7 of Cups especially feels like a fairy card. Okay. And then we've got this guy I am going to leave tucked in all the way because I just really like him there through that window. But this is a card from the Star Spinner Tarot in this junk mail envelope. And he does come out. But these colors all just go together so well. The Star Spinner Tarot I bought specifically to break up and trade and use in art. And then after I had already done it, I realized that I was actually in love with every card and that one day I'm going to have to buy myself another copy so that I can have a complete copy of the Star Spinner Tarot. This looks like another page from that Fairy House calendar because I recognize these scrolls. But it doesn't, it looks like it was the back of the calendar. So it's got the cool decorative, but we don't have another actual fairy house. But we've got these beautiful, I just think this lettering is so beautiful and all of these, the scroll work and the colors, love it. Okay. Another fairy coloring page with the walnut ink around the edges. Love her. So yeah, you can see this takes wet media really well because I've outlined her really clearly on this side and none of that really, very little tiny bit is coming through the other side. So you can definitely work with wet media and like watercolor the rest of this or marker color the rest of it or cover over it completely if you don't like it, do whatever you want. And then this is some drawing paper, pretty nice weight actually, that I just gel printed along the edges of, which I really like the look of, and I love these ruffly edges. And this looks like some scrapbook paper that I gel printed the back of and walnut inked the back of. So we've got a little bit of gel printing, a lot of walnut ink, and some stamping as well, it looks like. Gel printing, stamping, Maybe it's all gel printing. Who can say? I think probably this was a gel print and I used the stamp to pull the pink off of this part and then stamped it down here. That would be my guess, but it was a long time ago, so I can't really tell you for sure. And this one folds all the way open, so you get all the beautiful pink fairies with their gold glittery wings. Oh, and I love it so much. It makes me very happy. But I will give it to you if you will buy it. And then there's the rest of that gel printed page. So the other side has the edges printed, and this side has kind of this inner bit and this outer bit printed. We've got the rest of the fairy, rest of the calendar page with more of that beautiful scroll work, some cotton rag. This is so the rest of the landscape magazine page on the inside. I must have covered over the inside of the other side completely. But this guy, I just thought he was like one step away from being a really fabulous trickster fairy. So he is now. He has a head full of flowers and he has embossed gold glitter wings and pointy ears and leaf eyebrows, and I quite like him. So there's that, and there's the back of the coloring page card, and we have more of the William Morris paper. And you're free to glue pockets in on this cover wherever you want, but I just love this William Morris paper so much. I couldn't bring myself to cover it up. I will put together like an envelope of coordinating papers for you to play with for adding pockets and things to this, but I just want you to get to choose where those go and what you cover and what you don't. I think I'm leaning more in that direction for this and future junk journals of like, I want to give you options to make your own magic rather than like doing all of the, because I feel like if somebody's done too much work and embellishment in a junk journal, it's just not as fun to work in anymore. Like, it's done. What do you do other than write and maybe tuck some things in? And so I want to leave lots of room for you to play and to do what you want to do. And yeah, but I want to also send you some things to play with so that you can do that. So that is this journal, and right now there's plenty of room. It closes almost all the way, but I know how we junk journalers get. We like to tuck stuff in, we like to glue stuff in, we like to do tip-ins, we like to do fold-outs, we like to do all sorts of fun things. And I know these can get real chunky, so I wanted to give you lots of space. So these 5 signatures are pretty nicely spread out, and I think there's plenty of room to grow before you even get to gator mouth stage. And you can, of course, adjust the length of the loop on this closure with the bow. And as you know, as your journal grows and gets chunkier. So that's that. That is the latest fairy junk journal, and I hope that you enjoyed this flip through. I hope that it wasn't too long, and I hope that this journal finds its way to exactly the person that it is meant for. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around in my next video. Bye.